I'm sorry, to do what?
To accuse a TV host of murder on Twitter.
I'm sorry, I'm not
Joe
understanding.
Scarborough.
What did he do?
Listen to Joe Scarborough. He tweeted last Tuesday that he wanted to be down the road to murder. He retweeted this morning about Psycho. Psycho Joe.
Oh, we're talking about Joe Scarborough?
Yes. It's
Well,
appropriate for the president to do that.
you're asking me about the appropriateness of the actions of this president of the United States? So completely inappropriate in so many ways that it's almost a given. It's like a child who comes in with mud on their pants or something. That's the way it is. They're outside playing. That's what he comes in with doggy do on his shoes, and everybody who works with him has that on their shoes too for a very long time to come. So I don't know. I hear doctors talk to me about saying, what's the matter with him? The things he says are so inappropriate for a president of the United States. The comments he makes about women. So inappropriate. So no, I don't think it's appropriate. But again, there's a market for it, obviously, and that's what he plays to. There's a word somebody used to me. They said you would understand it better if you knew what a confabulator is. Confabulator is. Look up the word confabulator. Somebody just really doesn't even know what the truth is and just says anything. And because he says it, then he believes it. But this, you know what? Forget about it.
In the history. Did you hear what Donald just said about the major Civil War battle? Quote, Gettysburg. Wow. Trump's speech was so embarrassing, the statue of Robert E. Lee surrendered again. But look, age is the only thing we have in common. My vice president actually endorses me. I had a great stretch since the State of the Union. Well, Donald has had a few tough days lately. You might call it stormy weather. What the hell? Trump's so desperate he started reading those Bibles he's selling. Then he got to the first commandment. You shall have no other gods before me. That's when he put it down and said, this book's not for me. Look, being here is a reminder that folks think what's going on in Congress is political theater. That's not true. Congress or theater, they'd have thrown out Lauren Boebert a long time ago. Now, to all my friends in the press and Fox.
Good evening, Jack Rabbits and Honey Bunnies. Welcome to the Tin Rabbit Podcast. Tonight we're going to be doing a little political science theater. We're going to be just having some laughs instead of digging in deep. I'm here with my good friend Bad Cookies, who need to unmute your mic there, buddy.
There we go.
How we doing this evening?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. We're gonna rip on some things, man.
We're ready to have a little bit of fun.
A little bit, yeah.
Should we address the court here before we get going here? Earl's in the house. How we doing, Earl? Johnny Chingus?
Oh, what's up, Johnny Chingas?
Yeah. Let's see, Philip Blair. How we doing, good sir? We've got Cheryl Smith. Hello. We've got, did I miss Earl? Good sir. No emoji here. I'll just talk to you in my dulcet tones. Oh, and Steve Wolfie. There we go. Hey, Steve.
Dude, Mother Mine Hour is in the chat.
Hey, Ma. Oh, I see Abby Do.
Yep.
All right. So, you want to tell them what we're doing? Or do you want to just do it?
Nah, man. Let's give them at least a little hint of what we're doing tonight.
All right.
All right. So what we wanted to do is, because the last few weeks it's been really depressing researching a lot of this shit about how fucked up our system is and how we get the run of the deal a lot of the time. So we wanted to lighten
Super
up.
depressing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we wanted to take this week to lighten up, take it easy, relax, and just crack some jokes on some commentary on some political videos, man. So hopefully we're funny enough for you guys, and we can.
Yeah, we're all just talking shit. So,
Yeah.
and I'll try not to steal any jokes out of the chat. I got learn from the best. All right. So, are you ready to get this party started?
Yeah, man. Let's get cracking. We'll
Let's
go
see.
with the first video. What's the first video?
I think we're gonna do Chucky Schumer. Let's see.
Oh God, no.
Pull him up. Oh, I need to act like a professional and actually do my job. Here we go. And rolling.
Please welcome Senate Majority Leader and New York Senator Chuck Schumer.
He's getting some good gyration out of that hip.
Right. Looks like he's doing water aerobics there.
Everybody, wasn't that a great roll call?
No.
Now just let me hear you if you're ready for President Kamala Harris.
I gotta make sure all my kids are in school so they're not truant.
We're here to talk about one thing, tomorrow, and building a better tomorrow for all Americans. This
Don't think about yesterday.
we can choose a brighter, a fairer, a freer future.
Or we can vote for
Or
Kamala Harris.
We can live the dark night of Trump's American carnage.
Oh, that was Green Day's best album.
One candidate will move America forward, Kamala Harris.
Straight into the dumpster.
Vice President Harris
Burning
has been the
dumpster.
best partner Senate Democrats could ever have asked for. Under her and President Biden's leadership, Senate Democrats lowered prescription drug prices.
On exactly
and
10
created
drugs for Medicare patients.
Millions of good-paying American jobs.
Yeah, in Mexico.
I worked with Kamala Harris when she was Senator Harris. I saw
Sorry
a
about
leader
that.
who was fearless, who stood up for middle-class families like the one she was raised in, who focused on things that really mattered.
Like locking up
Helping
single parents.
raise their kids.
With truants, with locking them
Safe
up.
neighborhoods, safe schools, and building an opportunity economy that gives everyone a shot at the American dream.
Here's your opportunity,
She will lead
people.
America
Yeah.
forward into
Don't
a
get
brighter
woke.
future,
Basically for that dream.
but she can't do it alone. She needs a Democratic majority in the Senate of the United States.
And the backing of AIPAC.
Now, my friends, 2 years ago, the naysayers said Senate Democrats stood no chance in the midterms.
And they were
I
right.
told them, just you wait.
Didn't learn their
We're gonna
lesson.
keep the Senate and maybe pick up a seat or two. And that's exactly what happened.
Dick in each hand.
Well,
Yeah, they
ladies
picked up
and
toilet
gentlemen,
seats.
my good friends at this convention, I am telling all of you now, we're going to hold the Senate again, and we're poised to pick up seats.
Yeah. Always to sniff those chairs. He needs new hand motions.
Majority to create good-paying jobs and lower costs.
Dude, that's the most motion he can make.
Defend a woman's
Yeah,
right
right.
to choose.
Jerking off two eyes
To
at the same time.
deliver for communities back home. Our senators are doing it, like Jackie Rosen, delivering high-speed rail for Nevada.
What, from Reno to Vegas?
John Tester,
Who needs high
bringing
speed out there?
high-tech jobs to Montana.
Good
And
job,
Bobby
Anna.
Casey and Sherrod Brown and Tammy Baldwin and Martin Heinrich fixing bridges in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Wisconsin and New Mexico.
And get that Howard Dean howl here in a second.
We also have amazing candidates.
Yeah.
Ruben Gallego, Angela Also Brooks, Andy Kim, Alyssa Slotkin.
Oh man, I smell a virtue signal coming on, man.
Rochester,
All right.
Colin Allred, Debbie Mucarsel Powell.
He's reading names off the
And folks,
teleprompter.
listen to
Awesome.
this. More than half of our candidates are candidates of color.
Oh,
We're
serious
making
shout out to my
Senate
homies that
look
love the
like
Domies.
America.
Did he get that list from
Now
APAC,
let's
man?
compare that with Senate Republicans. Senate Republicans
Keep America like America,
pretend to
stupid and
care
corrupt.
about middle-class families
I
but
thought he
they
was
voted
comparing them to
no
Senate Republicans.
on expanding
Right.
the child tax credit, and J.D. Vance didn't even show up to vote. Senate Republicans pretend to care about the border, but they voted no on the strongest border bill in a decade.
Chuck had to stop himself from chanting, build that wall, build that
But they
wall.
voted no on a woman's right to choose. No to safeguard IVF. No to birth control.
And the Democrats said no to ratifying all of that
A
shit.
taste of their extreme agenda. Is that what we want for America?
Yeah. Oh no,
A
no.
Republican
Wait.
Senate that assaults reproductive freedoms?
What?
Do we want a Republican Senate?
The Democratic Party that won't do
cuts
anything
taxes
about
for the
it.
rich, rigs the game for big oil and big pharma? Well, folks,
No, we
the
want a
choice
Democratic
is
Senate that
ours.
will actually ratify some shit.
Now let me close.
He's saying all this
Let
shit
me
like
close
Democrats
on a
have done it.
personal note.
Right.
As the highest-ranking Jewish elected official in American history,
With that nose, I believe it.
I want my grandkids and all grandkids to never, never face discrimination because of who they are.
From other
But Donald
Zionists like
Trump,
me.
This is a guy who peddles anti-Semitic stereotypes. He even invited a white
Peddler.
supremacist to Mar-a-Lago.
Oh shit, Joe Biden went to Mar-a-Lago?
And unfortunately,
Chuck Schumer
his
knows all about
prejudice
peddlers.
goes in all directions. He fueled Islamophobia and issued a Muslim ban as president. Tonight, folks, I am wearing this blue square
Like a cattle brand of my owners,
to anti-Semitism, to stand up to all hate.
except
Yes, me.
Palestinian hate.
Our children, our grandchildren, no matter their race, no matter their creed, their gender, or family, deserve better than Donald Trump's American carnage.
They deserve Israeli carnage.
So, are you ready to make sure Donald Trump never, ever gets near the White House again? So let's elect Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, and a Democratic majority in the Senate.
Or not.
And keep
Yeah,
the
please
torch
not.
of freedom
Earning that
burning
American
for
cash.
generations to come. On to victory in November.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Enough
God,
of
that
that
fucking
noise.
slime ball, man. Ugh, I
Enough
feel
of that
fucking gross.
noise. Right.
So, what'd you think about that video, man?
If I had 1,000 bottles of Diddy hand sanitizer, I can get myself clean.
Well, rumor
Yeah.
has it. Now, this is just what I heard recently. And rumor has it that baby oil was just a transference. Like you could put
For
ecstasy
the
drugs
MDM.
in,
Yeah.
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 and then it gets
Wow.
soaked through the skin. That's what I heard. I don't know. People, do your own research out there.
Right. I could probably do that with acid. Probably, yeah, anything like that.
Yeah, dude.
Do that, was it GBDM? I don't know. These kids and their initials these days. So I hope that wasn't too painful for all the fluffles in the room. That was our first attempt at some political humor. Should we jump right into the next one, or how do we run this one, Cookies?
I don't fucking know, dude. Let's just run it. See what happens.
All right. This one's a cute one. That's a quick one, so this would be a quick hit here.
All right.
There we go. And give it to me one more
And I
time.
yield back.
The gentleman yields back. The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Tennessee, Mr. Rose, for 5 minutes.
This is John Rose.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to address the terrible precedent set in our country 4 days ago.
Congress?
Justice system to engage in a
Somebody got caught themselves on the TV.
Now conviction of a major political party nominee running for president, especially on the charges brought against Donald Trump.
He's getting that
should
close. He's
gravely
making John look like a
concern every
ventriloquist
member of
dummy.
this body, as well as every American across our country, whether they be Republican or Democrat, for Donald Trump or against him. Regardless of one's opinion of the current Republican nominee, we'd be well served to remember the long and cherished tradition we have in this country of settling our political differences.
See, now I
at
can't
the
tell if
ballot
that's a young
box.
Bill
For
Murray or
nearly
a
2.5
Louis C.K.
centuries, our nation
I thought that was Monica Lewinsky.
properly resisted the temptation to oppose their political rivals through the weaponization
He's
of
throwing
our
gang
justice
signs.
system. Equal justice
He's
for
throwing
all
up the Illuminati, bro. He's already for Congress.
is fundamental to who we are as Americans. And those who would destroy that hard-earned trust, just to
Going in
score
for a sniff
cheap
test. Somebody
political
farted.
points,
He's out.
should be held accountable. As an
Poor kid,
attorney,
man.
I
I'm
can tell
sure
you
he's
that
bored as
May
hell.
30th will be
Man, that
All
poor
right.
kid.
Yeah, that's definitely Senate's not a take your kid to work day kind of place, especially now, right? Probably wouldn't do that in the record industry either. All righty, so
Well, I'm actually quite shocked that that kid wasn't sitting there playing on his phone, man. Most kids would have been either there or out in the lobby just sitting there playing on the phone.
right, yeah, I guess he was at least taking an interest in the political,
Fuckery.
right? More than most of us can say, so I'll give him credit for that.
Yep.
All right, next we got one of your all-time favorites. You know him, you love him. This one's gonna be a little tricky. It's gonna take me a second to set that up.
Oh,
maybe not.
neat. I know him, I love him. Who would it be?
Oh,
It's
let's see.
not Joe Pesci, is it?
It couldn't be. It couldn't be. Oh, here we go.
Oh, you
Stephen
fucking
Miller. You ready for this?
Oh,
Y'all
no.
ready for this?
Let's do this, man. Fuck.
All these,
Day one.
all these criminal migrants that have been flooded in the country are going to be the first to get thrown out of here. I mean, you've seen
He looks like RoboCop
tragedies.
with the mask off, the helmet off.
And look at this.
That's not a forehead. That's an 8 head.
You have
Even if he had hair.
gang that is taking over entire apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado, and that's responsible, by the way.
Yeah, here comes one of the first lies, the domino of
all
lies
over the
here.
United States. The crime rate in Venezuela is down, I believe, a little bit over 60% over the last several years.
Are you trusting
Oh, is he?
official figures from the Venezuelan dictatorship?
Let's put it this way.
Ooh, whenever somebody says, let's put it this way, you know he's trying to give you himself another 5 seconds to fix that spin.
Wouldn't you send your criminals to our
Ooh,
border?
That
there is
was
a
my
voice
question. Are
jump.
you trusting the figures of the dictatorships? Those are Maduro numbers.
This is the part where he
I
wishes he could
believe
run away.
That it is in the interest
Is
of a
this what
criminal
real journalists look like?
to let his criminals out of their jails and come to our
Do
country?
you have numbers, real numbers, not
I have
dictatorship
numbers.
numbers?
The Venezuelan gangs that have you've seen the CCTV footage. I have a question. Who do you think? Answer.
Can
me.
you answer a question with a
Venezuela. I
question?
know very well the
Not a
situation
question
of
with a
Caracas
question.
and many other
Right, and
cities.
tell me, who were the people with the high-powered rifles in the hallway of that apartment building? Who were they?
They were gangsters from Venezuela.
Right. No American community.
But I was asking to you about figures, numbers,
I'm saying
facts.
to you
Here we
the
go.
facts are-
He's warming up.
The facts are.
You said that Caracas
He's
has the
sweating,
lowest
dude.
crime
Look at that. He looks
rate
like a
than the
cue
USA.
ball.
The facts are.
The facts are an
mutilated
anecdotal
bodies. The facts
fable.
are
What's the facts? Come on, Steve. Get one
I
out.
was asking you about Caracas and the numbers in Caracas. Are you trusting the numbers of the dictatorship
I
to
am
state
trusting
what
the fact that Kamala Harris
Oh,
and
you're
the
getting
people in this
loud,
country
bro.
who are raping and murdering children.
I had been very
Do you
respectful.
know-
Why are
do
you yelling?
Do you know who Jocelyn Nungary is? Do you know who she
When
is?
you're right,
How
pound the
many
facts.
people
And when you're wrong,
is
pound the
experiencing
table.
violence in
Who
Caracas?
He's getting ready to
is she?
start
Who is Laken
pounding.
Riley?
Why are
Who
you
is
yelling
she?
again?
Because I'm yelling because
Do
children
you
are
know
being
who the
raped
journalist
and
is here?
I was
murdered
just
by
asking for
illegal
figures,
immigrants.
and you have not
Children
replied
are
to me
being
about
raped
those
and
figures.
murdered. Do you know who Kayla
Do
Hamilton
you trust the
is?
numbers of
Do you know
Nicolas
her
Maduro?
story?
I'm asking
I
again.
trust a ruthless dictator will empty his prisons and send their criminals to our
So
country.
you trust his
The
numbers?
most,
Oh,
the most
sounds like
dangerous
Trump.
gang in Venezuela is
You
now
trust
occupying
Nicolas
apartment
Maduro?
buildings. I trust that he does not want his criminals.
Dude, you got to
be-
check that tone,
You
man.
believe in his numbers?
I believe he's sending his criminals
Ooh.
to our country.
And do
That
you
lady-
think that the crime
do you-
rate in Venezuela have
Right.
Do you
decreased?
not believe the law enforcement reports of
Do
Venezuelan
you love
gangs
your
in this
job?
country?
Yes or
I was
no?
asking for
Tell
the
me.
Venezuelan government
Are
figures,
Venezuelan
not
gangs
the
in this
figures
country or
here.
not? Are Venezuelan gangs in this
Yeah,
country
them
or
ladies
not?
in
Yes
the
or
back are
no?
like, what the
What
fuck is
are the
this?
figures
no.
that you
Wait, she
say
don't
to
pull out
say
that
that
phone.
in Caracas
Yes or
the
no?
number is
Are
lower than in the
Venezuelan gangs- are
USA?
Venezuelan gangs in this
It
country or
looks
not?
like she's a
You don't have
chauffeur at an
numbers.
airport.
Are Venezuela? You know
Get
who
'em,
has
dude.
numbers?
Man, this report
The
is
Department of
impressive.
Homeland Security.
Yeah.
You can ask Mayorkas for numbers. You can ask the Director Ray for the numbers.
Sir,
I'm telling you.
You said
You think
that in
Nicolas
Venezuela
Maduro-
the crime rate is lower than the
Because-
USA.
Yes, because the
What are
criminals
your
here
numbers? That's
now.
my question.
Because
It's
the
like
criminals
Pinocchio,
are here
although
now.
when he lies,
Those are
his
Maduro's
lips start
I
numbers.
will
growing.
tell you again that Border Patrol agents are encountering
Do you
thousands
trust
of gang members.
Maduro numbers?
I trust the border agents in our country,
But
and
they
I
are
hope
not
that
saying
you
that
have the
Caracas has a
fundamental-
lower crime rate.
Children are dead, and you are wasting my time.
Wow,
I am not
Well,
wasting your
Children
time.
are
wasting
I'm
my
asking
time
for
while there are
facts
plenty more
as a
children for me to
journalist.
kill and
any remorse for the
in
dead
the
children?
least.
Do you care at all about the dead children?
Absolutely.
Then that's what I want to leave you with: is that Donald Trump
I
will
was
come
just
to
asking for
office.
figures.
Here's what's going to happen: Donald Trump is
Oh,
going
those
to be
lips are
elected
getting big
president,
now.
and the migrant gangs are going to be sent home. Children's lives
Must be
will be saved.
room, bro.
And you know who will benefit the most? Are the working
You?
class Hispanic communities
Your
that are
donors?
besieged by gang violence.
So you
We
don't have
public
figures.
schools that are being overtaken by
donors that
migrant
wanna
gangs.
go
You
there
have
and steal their oil?
MS-13
Right.
that is brutalizing children. You have Kayla Hamilton, who was
Oh,
20-year-old
there's that
autistic
anecdotal
girl
story
who
we
was
were
raped
looking
and
for.
murdered, beaten to
Yeah.
death. That will end. That will stop, and our children's lives will be saved. That is the most virtuous thing that can possibly be done.
What
We are
about the
gonna
children in
save
Africans?
the lives of our children. We will not let Kamala Harris condemn them to a life of misery, suffering, and death. Thank
She will
you.
wait till they're grown up and put them in jail then.
Right. So that was your favorite, not mine. So I did that just for you.
Man, that guy's a scumbag, dude.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
Yeah, I think he runs number 2 for me from Count Smirkula when he was up there smiling and grinning, saying no comment about the oh, see, now we gotta get happy. I'm not gonna talk about depressing crap.
but
Let's
dude,
get away from that.
I give it to that fucking reporter, man. That dude was
Oh.
hammering him, dude.
Right? Is that no? I just want that one fact. Just you said it, so can you back that up? No, there are children dying, and I'm going to go save them. They're in a burning building, and I can't go get to them because you're asking me to back up my facts.
There's one child, Marcellus Gomez Gutierrez. He's in a building in the east side of the city. I gotta go save him. Stop asking me.
Okay, so we've got another quick one here. This one will be a fun one. You may be familiar with this one. This is MTG versus AOC. And let's get ready to rumble.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about
just a-
AG.
I
Well,
don't
think you know what you're here
President.
for.
well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen,
That's messed up. That could have been
That
the
hydrogen peroxide isn't killing brain cells either, right?
Order of your committee.
Order.
I do have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you
Meeting
attack
will
the
suspend,
physical
meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person? You're feeling
Sit your
her
juicy
words
Latina
down.
booty back in your
Oh,
seat.
Oh, girl, baby girl. Oh, really? Don't even play. Baby girl?
Baby girl?
We are gonna move, and we're gonna take your words down. Thank
Dude, why is she acting like she's from the hood, man? That chick ain't from the hood.
you.
Okay. Miss Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
just
recognizes
apologized.
Mr.
No, no, no. She
Perry.
just
Okay,
apologized.
Hold on. Then
Hold on.
after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms.
I'm
Green
not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're not
reserve the right to
striking your
object.
words.
Love is never
I'm
having to
not
say you're sorry.
apologizing.
Now let's go.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman,
What now?
Oh, he so wanted her to repeat that one.
I don't think that's
Say it again,
part
please.
of the
All right, that was fun.
That was for sure a weave, man.
Oh yeah, definitely an oldie but a goodie. Bleach blonde, bad body, or butch body. Yeah, see, it's been too long. Thank God that's not a meme anymore. That was too hard
Blonde
to
hair,
say.
bad build, butch body.
That's the one.
Yeah, I think they made a fucking terrible song about that, man.
Oh,
Don't
I'm
play it.
sure somebody made a buttload of money off of that. Somebody making T-shirts made a buttload of money.
I hope they had shoulder
Uh,
pads so that they looked like her.
Right. You've been watching the chat there, brother. I haven't seen. Is everybody bailing on us yet? Looks like
I know.
everybody's here still. There's 18 of us. Okay, well, then I guess we'll keep going. We got.
Yeah. Well, now that
go
you
ahead.
mentioned the comments, let's take a quick look. See if
Sure.
see
Should
what
we throw
the-
some up?
Yeah, man. Let's throw a few up. See what the
All right.
crowd is saying.
Oh wait, there's Jut Mouse saying hey to Johnny. Oh, there's Sean. At least somebody's laughing. All right.
Check out Abby, dude, man.
Oh yeah, we're doing too much. Old man came in. Better late than never. That's
Nice.
all right.
Good to
That's
see that.
all
fella.
right. And let's see any other good ones in there. I'm kind of going. You want to go out down while I go up? It's hard
Yeah,
when we're
man.
both clicking.
Now go for it.
Let's see. Dude's getting trolled by reality. Oh, here's a good one. Be right back. All right, Steve, we'll wait for you, man. Hurry up, man. We got two more here. We're not going to play until you get back. So
Here, I got a couple.
You're holding
man.
up the whole crew.
Come on, dude. You got to hurry up, Steve. Get your Mylanta. Let's go.
So
I
right.
got a couple here, man. Like
Yeah.
these guys are
Oh.
for sure enjoying the show. Hopefully you
Nice.
guys are.
All right. Well, then it'll be worth doing the last two. We got two more.
Cool.
All right. So, who we got next? Oh, my man Roe. Let's see. Is that him? Let's see what we got.
We're going to begin this hour with one of President Biden's biggest supporters to get his take on last night's news conference in Washington. The president did answer questions for nearly an hour, most of them, or at least many of them, about his health and the growing calls for him to step away from the presidential
Oh, I guess I
race.
could have trimmed
California
this
Congressman
out.
Ro Khanna is on
Sorry.
the Biden
Starts
campaign's
here.
national advisory board. He's been taking and answering questions
Keep
from
smiling, dummy. You're still on
person and
screen.
on social media, and he joins us now.
Smile.
Congressman,
There you
thank very
go.
much for being here. You know, after yesterday's press conference, Congressman Jim Hines came out and said, if you take a cold, hard look at the Biden presidency and candidacy, he's not going to win
Trudeau.
the House and the Senate for Democrats.
Is
How
he
cold
Indian?
and hard is your view this morning? Should he step
Colder and
aside?
harder than an Eskimo
No,
gigolo.
Tony, he shouldn't. First of all, he was at his best yesterday. I mean, he is most comfortable when he's talking about policy. On foreign policy, frankly, he was more substantive than 90% of people in Congress, and he was very thoughtful on calling for a new industrial policy. I mean, one of the points that he made is we have had a rebound in the most deindustrialized parts of this
Oh.
country, the parts that Trump
Come
talked
on
about.
now. You know
Record
that's
job
bullshit.
creation there in the
Now,
last 3
juice
years,
those
more than
numbers.
the last 20 years.
Dude,
And-
I
yeah.
bulge out
It's
like that. He's so full of
Is it
shit.
about policy?
Wish
That's
I could
something that people
scroll
want to
out.
get to talking about. But right now, we're talking about a presidential campaign. You know, it's
Sure.
not a question of does he govern behind closed doors. It's can he sell his presidency to the American people? I talked to voters in Wisconsin this week. Uniformly, Democrats say no. I can't find any Democrat actually all around this country in my travels who says yes, stick in the race. So why
I
stick
can't
in the
even find a
race?
Democrat
Well,
willing to
he
admit
has
they're a
lots of support
Democrat.
still. I mean, even the polling yesterday, the ABC
He's
poll
the
had it
last
at a
rat
dead
on that
heat. Now,
sinking
I
ship.
grant that he's an underdog, and I grant that he's not as articulate as he was in 2020, and that there are legitimate concerns about who can win. But even if you think that he's a few points down, that doesn't mean that the race is not winnable. Ultimately, the race is going to come down not just to who's the best talker, but who do people trust on the economy. And my view is that no polling has shown that he doesn't have a path to victory. I mean, the swing states are still fairly close.
This path to victory was derailed in East Palestine and West Bank.
Before every event now, people are watching these events, these news conferences, watching debates, and it's sort of like with bated breath, like what is the misstep going to be this time? And we saw failures.
You know, she
yesterday,
takes out her
and it seems
anger
like a lot
on
of
her
people
nanny.
are focusing on this with, of course, President Biden and
Throws a shoe at her every
Volodymyr
once in a while.
Zelensky, President
Her
Putin,
phone.
and then
I'm
calling
gonna
Vice
deport you,
President
Maria.
Kamala Harris Vice President Trump. I mean, these are things that
She's got the
people and
protection
voters
plan
know.
on her iPhone.
There are more and more of these missteps happening.
And we
Had
thought it
certain
couldn't get
gaffes.
any
I mean,
worse
this
than
is
that.
true about anyone who's followed Vice President Biden's career, but those gaffes have been exacerbated by age. But where he is strong is on the substance. Now, what I would say is he has to do a few things. One, he should go to the New York Times and sit down and have an editorial board interview. You know, Napoleon once said that having 4 hostile newspapers is worse than having 1,000 people with bayonets. Let me tell you, that's a lesson for the president.
And having all the newspapers with you is worse than 2 idiots with sniper rifles.
Have him come and do a conversation with all of you on
We would
CBS
love
Morning.
that. We invite
I mean, have him do town halls that are, we can't gaslight them. You can't say he's the same person as he was. You've got to say, look, he has wisdom, he has experience, he has the right values, he can do the job, but he is going to make gaffes. And there are going to be times
just
where
a
he's
gaff
not going to remember
machine.
someone in the way that he
Really
did.
don't
Congressman, we're
work
talking
for
about the
nobody but
presidency.
you.
Those times could come at very inopportune moments in a
God,
very
man.
unstable world, and that's what
I
voters
thought
are saying.
I thought he was just a man of color, but it's just that his nose is so far up Biden's
Don't want
ass.
him
He's
to
covered
run.
in
There's
shit.
more polling that came out this morning. 2/3 of voters, Democrats, don't want him to run. Why is that message not getting through?
Tony, 2/3 of the voters don't want either of them
Yeah,
to run.
he's not-
Look,
this
country
guy's not gonna
wants
make any
something
waves.
new. I get that. They want a new generation.
He's just going to float. Yeah.
That's not who we nominated on either side. We have a democratic process. We will get a new
Do we
generation. There
now?
are 20 talented Democrats, 20 talented Republicans. I can't wait till we have a
Yeah,
new
he's just,
generation.
I can't
But
wait.
that's
He's
not
playing the
this
waiting
election.
game until everybody dies. He's sitting there like the Grim Reaper,
Do you acknowledge
waiting for people to drop off.
made some missteps in the wake of that disaster?
I mean, it's not a bad plan.
Should the president should have come out
Yeah,
and
that's
held
all he's
that press
got.
conference that he held last night, 12 days ago. Perhaps that would have quelled some of these.
That's if we
drumbeats
still
that
have a
we hear
country in
from
10
out of the
years.
race. What happened there?
Yes, there was a mistake. I mean,
There was a
one,
mistake.
absolutely there was a mistake. One, there was too much defensiveness. Second, people saw with their own eyes that the president had not just a bad night, but that
bad
whether he
decade?
was the same person as he was a few years ago. And I think he
Bad
had to
half
be
century?
honest about that. And people, they shouldn't have dismissed the
When
critics
have
as
you ever been
bedwetters
honest,
and as
Rosanna?
elites. I mean, these aren't just elites.
Yeah.
These are ordinary voters who have these concerns.
Is that why the donor money is drying up? Because the president criticized those people who had those real concerns
Yeah.
about what they saw on the
Over
television
there.
screens. 50 million
George Clooney killed
There
him.
are donor concerns, absolutely, but donors aren't going to
bogus.
pick the nominee of the party, and the president's money
Oh,
hasn't
bro, of
dried
course
up.
they're
And
going
I
to
was
pick the
just on a call with
party.
500 donors last night. Probably many of them have concerns, but many of them are still going to support him. Look, at the end of the day, my view is what the voters are asking is you've got a binary choice. Who is going to do more to keep this country secure, and who's going to
What
do
voters
more
are
for
saying
their
that?
lives economically? The security, I thought the president is going to make it clear he'll stand up to Putin. Donald
Oh.
Trump, we have to ask, is he going to give Putin 1/5 of
That's
Ukraine?
exactly what it's about, though. You can't
Yeah, I can
govern,
imagine the Middle
you can't
East. He'll
send
just go
Putin,
straight to
you can't win.
Ukraine.
And people have doubts about his ability to win.
Wouldn't
You
touch
apparently
Israel
do
with a
not. Are you
10-foot
saying that
pole.
if you could wave a magic wand, you would still stick with President Joe Biden as the candidate?
If I had a magic wand,
It's
I would
unclear to
hide
me at
90%
this
of my
time,
wealth in my
if
wife's
you-
name.
If I could wave a magic wand and
Uh-huh.
have an open primary going back 2 years, I would take that. But with 3 months, 4 months, it's unclear to me someone new can come in and win. I don't think Barack Obama is the greatest talent of the last 50 years. If you put him in a 3-month sprint, would be able to convince the American people. And so we're at a point where President Biden has said he's the nominee. And until he says otherwise, we've got to make the case for him. And I think we can
That's a
win.
no.
I think we're an underdog, but there's
Oh,
clearly a path.
they're
to
eating the cats and they're eating the
Now is seeing if
underdogs.
the rest of your party will come together on that. Representative O'Connor, we're out of time. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
we were definitely
Got a
out of
lot more
time,
with you.
bro. Oh,
Man.
crap.
I
That
like
was
her.
pretty
He's got
sad.
personality. Ro Khanna
Well,
could
he's-
fucking tell you he didn't rape your dog and he's got his dick in it. That's how
Right?
That's how personable he is, man. He will lie to you straight to your face, man, and
Oh yeah.
not give
Oh
a shit about
yeah.
it.
Well, and he does that smile. I think is just hiding a lot of, I think that's all Dupersolite, but he's just giggly that he's convinced people that he could actually be a politician. I think he's just high off his own supply at that point. Oh,
Dude, what you said earlier, that's a pretty poignant point, because that probably is his plan, is he's trying to wait them out. I mean, dude, he's sitting there just waiting and biding his time, being a good little Democrat, towing the line, man. He gave up on that whole, I'm a progressive too kind of fucking shit. Because remember when he was pushing that?
No, he's not going to say a GD thing until everybody that could kick him out is dead, and he doesn't have that whole long to wait.
No.
I mean, Pelosi's can't be around for much longer. Kamala, I don't think is going to be there, so she'll probably bow out gracefully after this embarrassment, I would hope. I don't think California wants her back either. So
I don't know. She's still young enough to where her ego might be like big enough to where she'll get like Hillary, dude, and she'll want to run again just because she got beaten once. Like, Hillary wants to run again, man, but they keep telling her no because she sucks. Nobody likes her.
Oh shit! If Hillary ran again,
dude,
I don't even want to think about that. You really scare me there now.
Well, dude, that's what I'm saying, because Kamala's young enough to where she could do it again. Hillary, she might run again, but she's old as dirt, dude. I don't know how long she's got.
Well, I mean, look at Biden. That's what all these old politicians are looking at Biden going, oh shit, I got another 10 years. I mean, it's the worst example that he could set for this country is to make all these old politicians think that they should die in office. Well, actually, I blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
But the problem is they don't die, dude. They live forever.
Well-
Those guys always get to like 100 years old. How? Healthy.
It's all that baby oil.
Oh man, I bet they got adrenochrome in it. I don't know where they got it from.
Yeah, well, that's kind of when you concentrate that adrenochrome down. That's how you make the baby oil, and then it goes into the skin much easier that way. So I've been told. Easier to absorb.
Oh, dude. Well, we'll get off of this topic.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party, or we did. Yeah, see, I can't help but go into the dark hole. So here, let's do this. Let's go to the next
George
one.
Santos said.
Right. Bad news bias. All right, let's see a little bad news bias, shall we? And, oh shoot! Get that again. Sorry, folks. Here we go.
Does America have a bad news bias? Is it baked
no,
in?
you obviously have folks.
Well, that's what these researchers identified.
Sorry,
They looked at news reports about the pandemic.
He doesn't have a bad hair bias.
This study titled "Why is all COVID?"
Is it the bad news bias in breaking trainer, or was it the bad news bias go to Japan?
Disproportionate focus on negative news about the pandemic.
Yeah, it's a
and that
bad
there
news
were
bears
actually
joke. You
outliers
can
on the
laugh at
international
that.
stage when compared to news outlets from other countries and scientific journals. You can see the volume of negative news does begin to dip after vaccination
Yeah, I wonder.
is reported. So there is something
I
changing.
wonder why, man. Could it be that the
Let's talk
MSM
about
was
this,
working with the
with Dr.
government to
Sanjay
make it that way?
CNN's chief
All right.
medical correspondent. Dr. Sanjay, look at this, and I think, well, of course,
This
it's
Bollywood
competitive
version
because
of
this
Ray
is a
Romano looks
one of the worst things happening in our
shit.
lives. And yet, this study says the coverage was more negative in the U.S.
Oh,
than it
which
was in
face is
other
more
countries.
punchable?
Are there explanations for that you see?
Well, I think that the reality is that the United States, obviously got hit particularly hard by this.
Hit hard
as
with
well.
censorship.
Brian, that, we're not even 5% of the world's population. And at various times, there was 20 to 25% of the world's overall new infections and world's deaths. So I think that was part of it as well. But it was a constant balance, I think, for the last year for certainly me and all the other medical reporters, sort of finding that balance between just being honest, transparent, and a lot of the news was bad, but also, finding the hope when there was, legitimate hope to talk about. And
Total bullshit.
That inflection point, is a constantly
I like
dynamic
that title.
thing.
I'm not gonna lie.
I know that sounds like a joke, but I started to feel hope when you got a haircut.
Well, I looked at you. I thought it was a joke.
Dr. Goop going to be able to get a haircut.
You have never seen.
right?
Man's never had a
Now more and
haircut.
more
What the hell does he have to worry about
Like
I
that.
see this NPR story the other day about how these random headlines.
He just has hair
kick
envy in
off,
general.
one terrible, death here, one terrible death there, that are cherry picked, are creating fears about vaccinations. NPR found this and showed how, out of context, out of, proportion stories are being used to stir vaccine hesitancy.
Unlike the bullshit stories of gunshot wounds going
It is
untreated
a
because of
concern.
lines.
And, this sort of thing has predated the pandemic. I mean, the vaccine hesitancy has been out there for a long time.
Yeah.
And those are
don't say
very
polio. Don't say
provocative sort
polio.
of stories, right? I mean, for anybody who's already a little bit hesitant, and that's 33% of the country, Brian.
Yeah.
But yet fear mongering about
they
vaccines to
find
scare
these
people into
stories
getting
and
the
then
jab.
They amplify them, they
right?
share them, and
Right.
they sort of feel like they've been vindicated in terms of their belief because, see, now, most of those stories, I mean, there's been no confirmed deaths due to a vaccine. In fact, there was nobody who died in the vaccine trials who received the vaccine. They all compared to people who received placebos. So it was very
So the
effective.
takeaway is that
in terms of,
placebos are
actually
dangerous
protecting
and
people
require
against
more
it.
studies. Is
But this
that what
a
he's saying there?
long-standing issue. In fact, we got another documentary film coming out next week about vaccine hesitancy, which we started filming before the pandemic
Oh,
because
wow.
of the measles outbreak in Brooklyn.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it's concerning.
Wow.
For the record, my second Pfizer shot, I felt just fine afterwards.
I felt
think
even
I felt
better.
a little better.
Yeah, you
actually.
fucking
Right? You
idiot.
feel like a little bit of a superhero. when
Yeah,
you're
his
vaccinated.
superhero
And
name
all
is
of a
the
sudden, he's
Schiller.
spreading that message. Let's
Nice
talk about
fucking
this
dude.
evening's documentary, COVID War. What I need to know is, how did you do it? How did you get all 6 of these leaders to sit down with you?
Well, that was the biggest challenge, and I got to give a lot of kudos to, the producers,
Oh,
Jessica
that's-
Small and Jim Murphy and everybody. But we spent a lot of time building relationships. A lot of people.
Everybody's got a book.
All of them have
Everybody's got a
seasons
book.
except for Dr. Fauci. And, we wanted to talk to them at a time when they felt like they could actually talk. They could feel like they were unbridled, and it was that was
Yo,
the key.
when did they get
I
Dr.
also
Loomis
approached
to
this,
stop
they're
chasing
all
Michael
doctors, I'm a
Myers to
doctor.
sell the jab, dude?
Approach this like an autopsy. This isn't autopsies are tough to watch, but they are important. There's a lot of lessons to be learned for right now because we're still in the middle of this pandemic, but also for the future. So I think that was one of those sort of vehicles that they felt it was going to be tough, these interviews, but more familiar. Doctors often have this codified introspection, and I wanted to sort of, rely on that to get through this documentary.
And the journalistic lesson is sometimes you have to wait a while, right, to really get to the full truth of what happened.
And even then, the truth will never make it past
Absolutely,
CNN.
absolutely. There's no question.
What
and
does
you'll
he
see
know
tonight,
about
Brian, I
journalism?
think I'd be
Yeah, the
curious to
truth
see what you
dies
think
here.
after, but censorship is not a word that people use lightly. We can use it here. You'll hear exactly how messages were getting out there or not. People will often say, well, why didn't you say something at the time? Well, as you know, Brian, I mean, everyone had to get approval from the White House to talk about these things. And many times they could not get those sorts of approvals.
Sounds like they're working with the government.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will all be watching.
Biden
the
would be
special
great
report
for free
entitled
speech,
COVID War,
right?
The pandemic documentary.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Enough of you. Enough of you.
Oh man, dude, that fucking shout out to Pfizer. Wow.
Right?
He really
Cojones
sold
on
that
this
one.
guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel better now. I grew super powers.
I was gonna go get my 6th shot just because I was feeling a little down this morning. I needed a little pick me up.
I'm surprised they haven't sold it like that, man. Like, oh, these
Right.
people got superhuman powers because of it.
Right? Just put the vax in a Monster drink and sell it at the gas station.
Shut up, dude, because they would do that.
Of course they
Oh,
would.
fuck.
How do you know they haven't done it already?
Fair.
See, now you're making don't make me put that tin rabbit. We were supposed to be telling jokes. Now I've got my tin hat on.
It's natural, man.
Yeah, that's where I go. Wherever I go, it follows me. So, what did you think, fam? Is this something we should do again? I know we went 45 minutes. I said a half hour, so I guess 45 minutes is better than I thought.
Yeah, man.
But is it too long, too short? Let us know in the comments. Yeah, actually, yeah, if you guys could start leaving comments, I think that does something for the algorithm. I don't really know, but I hear people say that shit all the time, so it's got to do something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know that making comments in the comment section actually does improve interaction because you get like a rating for interaction level for each video.
That's what she said. Sorry.
Nah, perfect timing, man.
Oh, here we go. The one who's conspicuously absent is saying, every 4 weeks, please. Yeah, I think Better Half likes taking a week off every once in a while. She does a lot of research, so the fact that she didn't have to do any research this week was
Pretty relaxing, wasn't it?
right. Maybe we'll just have her do a show all by herself, and we can sit in the comments and make fun of her.
Dude, like this actually was very traumatic for me.
Yeah, right.
Well, dude, I hate mainstream media. And
Oh,
we had
yeah.
to sit here and pick some videos out. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to fucking sit here and watch mainstream media to find a funny moment.
Right.
It was painful.
Yeah, well, Better Half got the one of the kid sniffing his dad's butt. I thought that was just too good not to put in there. So thank you to Better Half for helping us find some videos. And yeah, maybe next time we'll do, instead of doing 6, we'll do 10. That would probably get us right to an hour. Sure.
Or either 10 or possibly longer videos.
Right. Well,
Because we could probably do videos that are like what, like 10 minutes long, and then that like we would only have to do 3 or 4 of them to fill up the time.
well, yeah, it would have to be the right ones, I think, though. I definitely wouldn't want 10 minutes of AOC. I'm afraid that half of our audience would end up either leaving or just
having an
following
aneurysm.
Drano, right? Something. Getting
Yeah.
eye bleach.
I
Eye bleach
saw-
is not recommended.
Dude, I saw this comment. I do not have case study syndrome. I don't know how the hell case study sits through all of that
right.
shit for hours, man. I don't know how he does it. I heard he's retiring at the end of the year. I don't know if he still is or isn't.
Well, I
but
don't
if he
blame him.
does, yeah, man. I don't either. How the hell do you sit there for hours and watch this mind-numbing nonsense?
That's why I always tell him he's my patron saint of masochism. I mean, he's got to have a little bit of that in there just to watch all that crap.
Well, while
if you're watching it cynically,
yeah, dude, because you have to be either brain dead or fully into the Kool-Aid in order to watch that and fully believe everything that they're saying, man. I couldn't sit through half of those videos. Like I would have to pause it and then come back and look at it again because I was like, man, this is annoying to sit here and watch these people lie to you to your face and then expect you to believe it. It's depressing.
yeah, once you get on the other side, because I used to watch, mainstream. I watched Rachel Maddow at one point in my life. I watched CNN. I worked for the news, so I was a news junkie. I mean, I worked for NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox, all of them at one point in my life. I was a cameraman for all of them, and they all work exactly the same. They all get their stories from the headquarters. They'll do a local, here's your Strawberry Fest, or they're opening up a new restaurant downtown. But 75% of the shit they get that comes from corporate. So
let's talk about next week's show, man. You excited about that one?
I am. That ticker's been running the whole time, hasn't it? Yeah, we're gonna do the aliens.
Well, we didn't have to do the other tickers because we don't have to make any disclaimers this time. We're not
right. Yeah, we weren't. No theory. I guess just smart assery. Yeah. So yeah, no disclaimers. This is just all satire. It's satire and fair use. So screw you, YouTube.
That's a good time.
Wednesday, October 2nd, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern for our next show, Alien. I know it's not the most inspired title, but if we do a second one, it'll be called Aliens.
Well, dude, this should be a good topic because this is like one of the milestones, man. It's one of the big ones, like
Right.
the Sphinx and the pyramids. It's one of the big mysteries of conspiracy theories. So this should be fun to get into.
Yeah, this one has a long history. We're going to have over half a decade of just, actual stuff. And then I might even, I don't know, we might go into like the ancient aliens, maybe a little. I don't know, we might get into the ocean aliens. We're going to just kind of feel our way through the universe, I think.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely touch on a few aliens, like what's that Star Trek dude? God damn it, Captain Kirk. You ruined the joke, man.
Oh, he could have said Picard. He's
Oh yeah, Picard too. Man, I had options. I ruined the joke.
yeah, that's all right. We'll get the next one. Because you go with Picard, then you can go straight into X-Men, and then you're back to Disney. So it all wraps up in the same place.
It all ends up in Disney.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart is everywhere. All right, Jack Rabbits and Honey Bunnies. I think that's going to do it, unless you got anything else, Cookie.
What I do want to say is give a few shout outs to some people. I want to give.
Shit. Yes, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I want to shout out to Abidu and Nihilo Nostrum. I'm sure he's out there somewhere. He's probably busy. Whatever. Good dude. Love that cat. Hope he's out there. Shout out to.
Don't forget Tosh Schmidt too.
Oh, that's right. Black Life now, right?
Yes, Black Life.
Yep. Shout out to her as well. Can't forget about her. Sorry about that. And then shout out to real important shout out to Shonda. She got some good news. She doesn't have it spreading in other places, which is fantastic.
Right.
Great news, man. Great news. I hope she beats cancer, man, because that shit's a killer and it's fucked up, man.
Right. Absolutely.
I want to give a shout out to every independent media people out there, because you guys inspire us to do these call outs of conspiracy theories, especially the ones in the government, like with INN, of course, HLM. Kit's always out there bringing us the news.
It's man.
And all of the other independent outlets out there that are always talking the truth, man. And we need more of them. And shout out to them. And shout out to our audience, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we were entertaining enough for you. We were trying to crack jokes and hope you enjoyed it. But if you didn't, well, thanks for hanging out at least.
Yeah, at least we didn't waste an hour and a half of your time. So be thankful, you degenerates.
Thanks for hanging out, you guys. Please tune in next week and we should have a good time. That's all I got, man.
Peace out. Good night, fellows.